Hello, voices. I'm Joe Troy, and welcome to a VoiceOver'S audio adventure, a bi-weekly podcast where we talk voiceover, audio, and everything in between. My guest today is an actress, TV presenter, voice actor, producer, writer, lawyer, and polyglot. She's someone who refuses to stay in just one lane, building a career that blends creativity, media, and intellect. Today, we are going to talk about how she does it all and what drives her. Please welcome to the pod, Yasmine Alice.
Hello.
Welcome. Welcome. How are you today?
I'm good. I need to steal that excerpt that you just read and add it to my CV or my website or something. That was a great introduction. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you first and foremost for actually taking time out, because I know you are a very busy woman. Like, legit, I can't keep up with your social media. So yeah, I know you've been on your travels. I know you've been doing a lot. So yeah, thank you for joining me today. Do you remember when we first met?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Of
Okay,
course.
I'll give you. Yeah. Okay. So for the people listening, I remember it was for an audio drama. And I remember it was the second day of recording. I was working on the production side of this one. And I came in and I was tired. And all I remember is you just being in the booth. I was like, it's too early for this. Who is this person? Who is this person? Like, in a nice way, but I'm like, you had so much energy and you made yourself comfortable. And those are the kind of people I love to work with, and B, just love to have around me, because you were just so confident and warm and energetic. And, from working with you, we stayed in contact, and that was 3 years ago, I believe. I don't know where time's gone, by the way.
I know. And it's coming out soon. Full
I know.
disclosure.
Yeah. And it was just one of those things where I've seen you were doing amazing things back then, but you have gone on from strength to strength. And, this conversation today, I just want to just catch up and give you your flowers and just let the people know how amazing you are. So
Woo-woo.
I want to stop talking. You started off as a lawyer.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, man. So I came to UK year 2008, not on a boat, on a plane. Because I've got a German passport. Not many people know that. And back in the day, prior to Brexit, there were no problems with EU citizens coming to this country to study. I came to law school, graduated with top grades, got myself a job. I was working for maybe like 4 or 5 years. And I'd always felt like, I was always a creative soul. Ever since I was a little kid, I would paint, I would write stories, I would gather all the relatives and perform. I'd be like, I'm doing a play. So I would play the mom and the dad and the child. Like, I was such an extrovert. And me being in an office in this monotonous, soul-draining job, it just wasn't the vibe, man. I was just a nerd in school. And I thought, what do you study if you're a nerd with good grades? You either do medicine or law. So I was one of those people. No one actually even guided me. And what had happened is I was in Westfield shopping with my mom, and there was this like Sky promotion thing. Sky TV. They were promoting Sky TV boxes. And what they'd done, they had this like green screen and a teleprompter. And they were like, "Oh, would you like to try being a news anchor for Sky News?" So I step in front of the camera, I read from the teleprompter, and then they send me this little footage with Sky News in the background. And then just for jokes, I posted it on Instagram. People went mental. Like, people were like, "Oh my God, you quit law. You found the thing you were meant to do." I was like, guys, this is just a joke, but okay, let me think about this. I kid you not, in a week's time, I see a competition online for people of color. So if you win this competition, you get free TV presenting masterclasses with Pinewood Studios. I apply and I win. And I'm like, what just happened? Okay, so then I'm traveling to Pinewood Studios. And then I'm learning from this guy who used to be a news anchor for BBC. He pulls me to
Right.
one side. He goes, you know what, Yasmine, I don't say this often, but you've got a little, you've got a special talent for this. Maybe you should look into it. Then I go and pay someone something like £500 to give me a show reel. So I go into the studio, I present the news, I post that on Instagram, and I kid you not, within 2 months, I was scouted. I had a job offer to
Wow.
be an entertainment news correspondent for my country, and I quit my law job. It was a huge pay cut, so a lot of people
Yeah.
thought probably, are you mad?
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I'm on telly, bruv. I was on telly with airtime twice a week. I just loved being on camera, interviewing people. I just had so much energy all of a sudden. I went from like
Yeah.
monotonous lawyer to just life of the party. And that's how it all started.
That's so strange though, because me knowing who you are now, I could never imagine you in that job. Not to say you couldn't do it, but in terms of personality wise
Yeah.
and the way that it's very robotic and you have to be perceived a certain way as well. Because if you walked into the office like, nah, like you are now, no one's going to take you seriously. So yeah, I get your choice for doing it because it seems like the safe way to go. But yeah, it's interesting that you went down that way. In terms of creativity though, and just your personality, where did that come from? Is that something that you've always had, or did you find it along the way?
I think I've always been a dreamer.
Mm.
Also, not many people will know that Yasmine Alice, the Alice part, is not my real name. I
Okay.
added that to my name because I empathize with Alice in Wonderland so much. Ever since I was a little kid, I was a daydreamer.
Mm.
And when I dream, I make up stories. I go to a cafe, I'm sipping on my coffee, and I make stories about people that pass. I'm
Yeah.
thinking two people are talking. Okay, so they used to be in a relationship. Then he cheated on her, but then they fell back in love. Like I'm
Yeah.
constantly writing stories in my head. It's not only just about my acting, but also about my storytelling and my career as a filmmaker. It gives me so much joy. And furthermore, it's not only about cliche stories. I want to, tell stories that mean something and that gives maybe a little bit of a message or presents something about a culture or
Mm.
an experience, a trauma, a mental health disorder that many people don't know about, making
Yeah.
it conventional, normalizing things that people might have a prejudice against. So that
Yeah.
just gives me so much energy and passion. It's the reason why I do what I do now.
Yeah. Did you, in terms of when you wanted to continue with the acting, what was your training process like? And was it something that you expected, or was it completely different from what you thought it was going to be?
I didn't have too much training. Back in the day in
Mm.
Soho, we had the Actors Centre. And because I became a working actress very quickly, I'm not an
Mm.
A-list, maybe not even a B-list, but I book a
Yeah.
lot of work. Every week I'm booking something.
Yeah.
So my agents recommended me some courses. I've done some one-on-one coaching, and the Actors Center really, really saved my life.
Mm.
Because I'll tell you a funny story. One of my first big auditions was with one of the top casting directors. We will not
Mm.
say who she is. But I showed up and she was like, "What did you think of the script?" I'm like, "I didn't read it." And she's like, "What do you mean you didn't read it?" And I'm like, "No, I didn't even read it." So not only did I not memorize or study the script, I had the audacity to tell her that I didn't even
Yeah.
read it because I thought, oh, fuck it. Like, I'll just have the phone and I'll just read
Yeah.
it on the spot because I had no idea about what it meant to be a professional actress. I thought
Yeah.
everything was just going to be super easy. People were going to be offering me jobs just because I post a little video on Instagram. I thought that was the case. And
Yeah.
my first few acting jobs were just, I don't know, I just landed them by surprise. It was pure luck. And
Mm.
genuinely, this whole industry is based on luck.
Yeah.
And after that, that was a wake up call because she complained to my agent, and my agent was like, "You're going to take some classes." So then I started to take my craft much more seriously.
Yeah.
And yeah, my advice to you all, read the script before you meet a big casting director.
Yeah, it's funny because I don't do on screen. I've always done voice work. So even when I always come across people who don't even look at the script, and obviously in voice acting you are reading, but at the same time you still look at what you're doing beforehand, just in case, you know, just to prepare you, you know. So I've heard that a lot in voice work, but never an on-screen work. That sounds crazy to me that you even tried that.
Delusion.
But we learn. And you're still here today.
That's 12 years ago.
Talking about voice work. So what was your first voice job like, and how did you find the transition between on-screen and voice?
Yeah, so my first voice job was obviously for the TV network, where I was working as an entertainment news correspondent.
Yeah.
I would do like some of the news, and then, you know, I would record with the camera operator. We had like a little homemade booth and whatnot. And what had happened, it's really interesting. So I didn't think of voice work for many, many years. Initially, when I first started appearing on television, I received a lot of hate. So I appeared on Turkish national TV. I was an entertainment news correspondent, and I had a lot of people say to me that I sound like a tranny. So I was like, So I know that this is the thing. So this is my transition into voice work. I'm thinking, oh, wow, like I know that I have a deeper or a more unique voice for a woman. And initially I thought this is something that I should be ashamed of. But, you know, I'm working. I have a full-time job offer. So I can't stop doing my voiceovers. I can't stop appearing on TV. This is my livelihood right now. So then what had happened is I applied for something on Mandy, and I booked it, and it was for a commercial. And I didn't even realize how much I was going to get paid. And when they sent me the contract and I saw the number, I kid you not, Joe, I was like,
am I in the wrong profession?
So I'm getting paid this much money for 1 hour in a studio doing a short little commercial. Like these people that are trying to bully me online, making fun of me, check the receipts. Like I was just thinking, okay, I might have a unique voice, but I need to see it as my unique selling point. I need to see it as my strength, because I don't want to sound like everybody else. And it is what it is. So that was the transition moment in my head. Like, wow, okay, let's leave the bullies to one side and let's go for it.
But that's the thing, the people that do succeed in this field of work, especially commercially, are the ones that you're like, oh, that's Yasmine, I know that voice. Oh, that's this person. Like, if you sound like a regular person, everyday person who, you know, doesn't have any special or unique quality to their voice, then you're just going to blend in with the others and you're not going to be successful. So yeah, all those people that were talking rubbish, just like, what do they know? Like, stupid. So would you be able to tell us any unexpected jobs or jobs that you thought were going to be bad that turned out good? But
jobs that I thought were going to be bad but turned out to be good. I had the opposite more often, because I'm always so excited to work, because we don't get to work every single day. I wish I was the lead in a TV series for the next 5 years, you know, something like Friends or Game of Thrones, and you know where your next paycheck is going to come from. So for me, when I book a job, I'm always super, super excited. I've never thought a job was going to be bad and it turned out to be good. But I've had situations where, you know, I'm so hopeful, I'm so happy, and then I book the job and I go on set and I see that maybe the cast mostly no, but the crew might be a little bit more toxic, let's say. So you're dealing with human emotions, ego, their own anxieties and things like that, and how that reflects onto the cast. And when you're cast in both voice and more so on screen acting, you're so vulnerable. You're putting it all out
Yeah.
there for the world to see or hear. So you're opening yourself up to judgment. And I think a lot of people don't realize that, especially people who work behind camera. And I'm one of them. I also work behind camera. So you just got to have that kind of, a little bit of more empathy and kindness towards your cast members sometimes.
How do you deal with that though when you are having a more negative experience
Yeah, I
on
mean,
set or with people?
I think in the beginning of my career, and I've been in the industry for 12 years and I've seen it all, I was a little bit more emotional about it. And now I'm just like, whatever. I'll get my paycheck and go home. I don't care. Because I think you just need to build that self-confidence in yourself as a voice actor or a screen actor where you just don't care because you know who you are and you know that you're a professional with talent. So it doesn't matter what that person is doing or saying. Like, for example, I had a situation where I was doing a feature film. It was extremely tiring. People are working like 14, 15, 16-hour days because everything is delayed. And then the camera operator was being a bit of a bully towards me and shouting at me and telling me where to stand. And then I'm thinking, you're the camera operator. You're not even the director. Like, why are you shouting at me? And then in that moment, I have two options. I'm either going to cry or I'm going to fight and I'm going to humiliate myself and I'm going to bring everybody's energy down, or I'm just going to chat to the other actress and ignore what he's saying. I'm like, yeah, all right. And then make a mental note and be like, don't work with this person again.
Yeah. News does travel fast in the industry.
Yeah.
Don't be a dickhead, basically.
No.
So how many languages do you speak?
I speak 4 fluently.
Okay.
And I'm learning Spanish at the moment.
Okay. And how do you feel each language allows you to express yourself creatively? Do you think each language has a different side of you?
I think that's more so the case in between like Turkish and English. Having said that, like I have done 2 films in German, maybe like 1 voice job in French. I think unless they are looking for someone who is an immigrant from that country with a slight accent, or I don't normally get cast as the German or as the French. Having said that, the reason why I'm learning Spanish is literally I'm getting so many auditions for Spanish speaking roles. It's ridiculous. And my agent is like, she's not fluent. We want to see her, like, regardless. So, Duolingo is one of my best friends these days.
Oh, don't get me started with that bloody app. I hate it so much.
It's harassing me daily.
Yeah. So in terms of production, what made you get into production and what was that transition like?
It was really random. It was lockdown. I wrote a script.
Yeah.
Because I've done short films before. I was like, okay, let me write a script for fun. And then I sent the script to a former friend of mine. He's a film director. He read it and he said, you should stick to what you know. You're just an actress. Don't even bother. I was like, okay, well, this is a bit weird. So I sent it to another guy who's also a film director. He said he hates it when actors try to become filmmakers, that I didn't even go to film school. So it's I don't know why I received so much hate, but this kind of thing gives me so much like more, I just got even more excited. And because it was lockdown, I reached out to a few executive producers. And at the time, I managed to get 2 big time like Hollywood executive producers to give me a 1-hour session on Zoom. And I was talking about like, making a short film. And then the executive producer was like, okay, so you're going to make a short film. How much money do you need? And I was like, 3,000. And then she's like, okay, I'm sending it to you right away. And
what?
I didn't even know, like, had I asked for 10K, which is probably what
I mean, you were like, I should have asked for 50.
Yeah. So then I started to like find some people, find an actor, find a camera operator, this, that. So, and then I was trying to find a producer. I couldn't do it. But then I just sat down and I said, am I the producer? Like,
Yeah.
did I just
Well,
do all of
technically,
this?
yeah, you are. Yeah.
So then I realized I am the producer. And after that film, straight after that film, a lovely director called Carl, he was making a film called Hackney Downs, which premiered at Aesthetica. It's a wonderful short film about mental health issues among Black youth. He reached out. He was like, would you produce my film? I'm like, me? Yeah, okay, let's do it. So it just kind of snowballed from that,
Cool, yeah.
and produced 15 short films so far. And then I've got 3 feature films, 2 of which have been option dropped. Don't even get me started. But like, you know, and then I've worked as assistant producer and production manager, and yeah, that's about it in a few TV series as well, which has been life-changing experiences.
And how long so this has been since lockdown, and you've taught everything to yourself, basically?
Yeah.
I love that.
I've done a little course with rain dance.
Yeah.
And then I bought loads of books. I've tried to get as many one-on-one sessions with executive producers as possible, because if you send them a lovely email saying, I admire your work, would you like to mentor me for an hour? They do it.
Yeah.
And then I just give them a special thanks or something in my movies, just to honor them and thank them. Yeah, I don't think people realize that it's such a honoring thing. Like, people are afraid to reach out, because when you reach out to EPs, people are usually asking for money, but I don't.
Yeah.
I just go, hey,
Yeah.
talk to me about how your career has been.
That's
What
it.
mistakes have you done?
Yeah.
That's what I did.
It's really weird that those people shut you down in the beginning, though, because even if they didn't believe in your script, it's like, who are you to say stay in your lane, kind of thing? Like, that's such a weird thing to say. And
It is. Yeah. And
weird.
I think a lot of people experience this kind of backlash,
Mm.
especially, me as a woman of color, as an immigrant in this country. People are telling me to stay in my lane, and a lot of women or people will do that and will never talk about this. But I'm very open about some of the bad experiences that I had, and I want people to know that this kind of things will happen, and then you will go on to make so many more films and win so many awards and have so much more success. Like, the largest sum that I have received as funding for one of my short films was 20K. And I think that's a success for me, in a small way. So never give up.
No, I love that. Would you like to tell us more about Which Please?
Oh yeah, I would love that. Which Please is a limited podcast series. It's like a audio comedy series that I wrote, produced and directed myself. Did the whole thing myself. I found loads of actors online and I told them, look guys, we don't have a studio. Could you record this at home? And they all did it. It's absolute bonkers. It's about a witch who lives in the medieval times, and she's single, and the town folk are like, oh, why is she still not married? It's kind of like based on a true story. What I have experienced as a Middle Eastern woman who wasn't in a relationship prior to 2 years ago. But yeah, it's about like being judged for being single as a woman. So this is what she's going through, and she goes on a few dates, a few blind dates with different gentlemen, and they all go horribly wrong. And it's a bit, parental guidance advised. It's a bit bonkers. And if anybody wants to listen to it, it's available on all platforms for free. So yeah.
I love that. What motivates you to keep trying these different things?
I don't know, really, because I'm just like, I'm having fun with it. I love creating, and I don't have expectations. This is really, really important. I think, I don't want to get too serious and too deep into finances, but I always say that like I'm kind of supporting my hobby as a creative with other income. So when people are giving off desperate energy And they're like, oh my God, I have to book this job. Oh, I have to become A-list. I have to be famous. I need to be accepted. You know, they're always in this mindset. And I see that a lot with actors and filmmakers. And once you delete all of that, it doesn't matter if you're famous or not. Maybe I'm never going to be famous. Maybe I'm never going to be an A-list. I don't care. And the minute you remove the attachment and the desperate energy, you can just have fun with it. And that's what I do. I just want to create. I don't care what people think. You know, if people enjoy my content, great. If they don't, they can let me know how I can make it better. But I'm not emotionally connected to it with desperate energy, and that's really important.
Yeah. I guess your journey is like, it's been so organic. So it's not like you went to film school and you wanted to be this person, you wanted to do this. So yeah, there's no expectations, like you said. It's literally like, I want to make a film because why not?
Yeah.
Like, how do I do this? Okay, I'll do it because no one wants to help me. So it's
Yeah.
probably more out of like people are kind of forcing you without you even know it. And because of your personality, you love a challenge. You're probably like, yeah, I'll do this. And it always works out. So,
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that I don't get in my head every now and then. Like, I mean, let's
okay.
face it, I've been in the industry for 12 years.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've ticked literally 90% of everything that I've ever wanted to do in my career, but
Yeah.
I am yet to book a leading role in a TV series, for example. I'm
Yeah.
yet to book a computer game, which is shocking.
Okay.
I'm with Harvey
I
Voices.
find I find that weird as
Yeah,
well,
I'm
actually.
with Harvey Voices. She's like,
Yeah.
you know, I think she's one of the best voice agents, maybe not only in the UK but in the world. And I'm,
Yeah.
you know, I've only maybe, you know, maybe I need to audition more. I don't know. Maybe I need to learn more. But these are the two dreams that I haven't achieved
Yeah.
yet. So of course I'm kind of like, oh, I wish that would happen. But I'm trying not to give off that extreme desperate energy that I mentioned, because I think that repels whatever you're trying to manifest.
I love that. What has been to date your biggest hurdle in your career?
Hmm. Yeah, I think the biggest hurdle in my career has been finding the right opportunities or the right management or just being in the right place, right time, luck.
Mm.
Currently, I'm extremely blessed with my representation. I feel so safe and so blessed. It's not always been the case. And I've seen it all, sadly. 12 years is a very long time to be in the
Yeah.
industry. I've seen it all. I had loads of many bad experiences, and it makes you want to just, you know, build walls and not want to continue. But yeah, it just takes a lot of maturity. And I think the biggest hurdle that we face in the film industry, including myself, is the mental health journey.
Yeah.
And I'm a huge advocate for mental health. And in that sense, yeah, the mental health journey, the anxiety, the questioning, the desperation. And I think last year I had this kind of epiphany and realization that getting accepted for a job does not mean that I'm being accepted and I'm being loved. It just means I'm doing my job. Do you know what I mean? So it's having that kind of distinction without getting too philosophical about it. Um, yeah, that was a really interesting realization for me to have.
So do you think that that helped you deal with the mental health? So am I right in understanding that you see it more transactional, or am I completely missing the point?
I'm seeing it as fun. I'm seeing
Okay.
it as I get to do what I love doing. But
Mm.
me not doing it does not have an effect or a meaning in my life, my value, and who I am. And that realization is extremely
Mm.
important in an actor's life for both
Mm.
voice, screen, filmmaking. Very, very important, especially these days with, I don't know, AI and lack of funding and lack of jobs, the political climate. So there is a decrease in the amount of jobs that we get, and then
Yeah.
there's also a decrease in the amount of offers, like the number. that we get offered. Because I remember 12 years ago when I did my first commercial, my buyout was completely different to the buyouts that I'm being offered right now. So that, and imagine what it was like 20 years ago. I have friends that tell me one commercial was your mortgage down payment. So now we're in a completely different stage. So yeah, I would say mental health and just staying sane in the industry and not taking it too seriously.
How do you stay authentic across all of the different things that you do and true to yourself?
I think the authenticity comes into play mostly for filmmaking.
Okay.
With acting and voice acting, obviously there's a bit of me, but usually, there are strict guidelines or scripts. And, I've worked with many very collaborative directors who might take some feedback, and I can put a little bit of me, or, but the authenticity really comes into play in filmmaking. And I've worked as, I was a camera operator for Channel 4. I've worked as a writer, a producer. I don't like to call myself a director, but I did direct quite a few commercials as well, which I absolutely hate. And then you get to really, really bring in your authenticity, really like push some of the narratives that you're really passionate about. And I'll give you an example, really silly example, right? So I worked as a production manager on a really big Hollywood movie. And I just thought there was not enough diversity on screen. And I was responsible of finding the extras. And I was talking to a lovely lady called Carla, and she works, she owns Slick Casting, and I said to her, let's have a little bit of diversity in the background. You know what I mean? So I'm passionate about seeing diversity on screen, and I kind of just influenced the movie a little bit with the people walking past by in the background. So yeah, that's me imposing my authenticity.
All right. We're coming to the part where I'm going to throw random questions at you, and you're going to hit me back with something. Okay?
Okay. Let's do it.
Let's go. A role you would drop everything to play.
Tomb Raider.
Do you know what? That's so weird, because I don't know why that makes so much sense to me. Why do I feel like you dressed up as Tomb Raider before on your Instagram? Am I imagining that?
Yeah, no. I mean, I have previously.
I don't know. Like, you dressed up for Halloween. That is so weird. Anyway, a language you love to learn next.
Chinese.
Wow, you were going in there. One film or TV show you think everyone should watch at least once.
The Fifth Element.
Okay. One thing always in your bag on set or during a session in the booth.
Blanket.
What? The way you're getting stressed to answer this, I love it. One actor you'd love to work with.
Ooh, Jim Carrey.
If your life were a movie, what would the title be?
Madness.
If you could instantly master one new skill, what would it be?
Doing backflips.
The best advice you ever received.
Don't take it too seriously.
And finally, if you weren't doing any of your current careers, what would you be doing? And you are doing a lot, so this is going to be pretty hard for you.
Like just one?
Yeah.
All the time acting.
But if you couldn't do any of those things, any of them, what would you do?
Astronaut.
You are so random, and I love it. Astronaut. That's one job, that I'm like, I would so be on it, but at the same time, I'd be like, you're not paying me enough. So I'm like, nah, but that. But Yasmine, thank you for joining me today. It's been a pleasure, and I love everything about you, your work. You're very talented, and the world's going to find out very soon if they don't know already. So thank you for your time. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Thank you, everybody, for watching if you are. And until next time, bye-bye.